Hi everyone, it's me and I am back with a new video and another book tag. I am aware that I actually haven't done my May book haul yet, but that's because I keep forgetting. And I'm currently again at my fiance's house, so I don't have the books with me to haul them. So I promise it's coming, it's just a little bit late. A little bit late. So please bear with me, I'm getting there. But I thought I'd give you another video and we'd do the mid-year book freakout tag. It is nearly the middle of the year, which is absolutely terrifying because I'm not entirely sure where this year's gone. But it's the middle of the year nearly, thought I'd do it a little bit early. Also, as you can tell, I've had my hair cut. If you didn't realise, it was like down to like my waist before, maybe a bit above my hips. And I decided the other day I just wanted it to be gone because I was warm, I was bored, so I now have short hair and it's a lot curlier than it used to be. So bear with me if my hair looks a mess. I'm getting used to the whole new short hair situation, but I have short hair now, so there you go. Anyway, I'm going to do the mid-year book freakout tag and let's get started. So first off, number 1, what's the best book you've read in 2017 so far? Okay, so I had a lot of stress trying to think about this answer because I've read a lot of good books this year. However, then I decided to have a look through my Goodreads because, I can't remember how many books I've read this year. As we all know, I never actually have one answer for these questions. So yes, for this one, I have 3. It begins. The first best book I've read this year was obviously A Coat of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J Maas. I just loved this series and it was such a brilliant end to the series and I was crying, I was so happy, it was just so good and it was everything I've wanted. And yeah, it was, obviously it would have to be in the best books of this year because it's a Sarah J Maas book. I love her. So the second best book that I read this year was A Torch Against the Night by SABAA TAHIR. I love this book. It was honestly one of the best sequels I have ever read in my life. Picked up exactly where An Ember in the Ashes took off and I couldn't have been happier. I basically devoured it in a day. Thank you to Mariam for basically forcing me to read it. Love you. And I can't even cope. It was just so good and I really need the next book. And yeah, of course it was naturally one of the best books I've read. And then the third and final best book I read this year was Illuminate by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. I love this series. That series, Illuminate, I didn't even know what to expect and it was so much better than I ever expected. I was obsessed with it and I still am. And if I hadn't have read Aqua or Torch Against the Night, Illuminate would have definitely been the best book I've ever read because it was amazing. It was the most joy I've got out of reading this year, just in that book. It was amazing. I love it. Number 2, best sequel that you've read this year. Again, 2 of those books that I just mentioned as my best book were both sequels. So I'm going to try and mix it up and not have the same answers. However, yes, I do have 2 answers for this question. Help. I don't know how to do these tags successfully. So anyway, the first best sequel of this year was The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater. I'd literally just finished this, I finished this yesterday and it was amazing. I know I'm really behind the times and I know I should have read The Raven Cycle by now, but I'm catching up and I love it. I love Ganze and I love Ronan and Adam is cute and I love the series and it was such a good sequel. It was everything I wanted. It was such good character development, such good world building. It had to be on there. The next best sequel that was actually released in 2017 was Warlock Holmes, The Hellhound of the Baskervilles. So in my previous video of underrated series, you heard me mention this series and this was an amazing sequel. It was picked up exactly where I wanted it to. The action was there, the hilarity was there, the characters were there, everything was it was there and it was what I just loved it. It was fun, it was exciting and again I like devoured it in like a day because I just couldn't put it down. It was so good. Number 3, a new release that you want to read but haven't read yet. Yes, again I have 2 answers for this. I know I have a problem, I'm aware, but we're just gonna keep going. We're just gonna keep going. So the first book is One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus. I've heard such good things about this book, and I actually don't have it yet. I want to buy it very soon, like probably after this video. But I actually really want to read it. It sounds so interesting. It's like a YA crime thriller book, and I just love those kind of books. So I'm probably going to buy it and then read it, but I really need to get around to it because everyone I've heard read it has absolutely loved it, so why not? And then the second book that is a new release that I haven't read yet. Please don't kill me, but I haven't read Lord of Shadows yet. I know. I bought it the day it came out, and I haven't read it yet. I don't know what's wrong with me. I got distracted by the Raven Cycle. I have it. It is on my shelf. It's beautiful next to Lady Midnight and the rest of my Shadowhunter Chronicles, but I haven't read it, and I need to read it. I know I need to read it right now because apparently it's heartbreaking, and I just watched Jesse the Reader's video for the mid-year book freakout tag. He said it was the book that made him cry this year, so I'm very scared but excited, and I need to read it. Number 4, most anticipated releases of the second half of this year. Okay, so this is actually where I can have more than one answer. I have 2. I've kept it down. I could probably go at least 40, but I decided to keep it down since I've had so many extra answers for the rest of the questions. So my first anticipated release is Tower of Dawn by Sarah J Maas. Naturally, because I'm not even going to explain this one because why wouldn't it be? I'm excited to see Kale in his glory. I'm so excited. My second is God's Grave by J Christoph. I need this book. I need it with all of my heart. I'm just so excited, and they've just released the UK cover and it's gorgeous, and I can't wait for it to be on my shelf next to Nevernight, and I am desperate for this book. Like I'm so excited to have this book. Please can it be September yet? And then the third one that I've just thought of is Hunting Prince Dracula by Kerry Maniscalco. I love Stalking Jack the Ripper, and I have been waiting for Hunting Prince Dracula for so long now, it seems. So I really need it to be out and in my hands, and I need to read it. I just need to know what's happening, and yeah, I need it. Number 5, biggest disappointment of 2017. Okay, so I feel like a lot of people might hate me for this, but I really didn't like The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty. Blatty? My Yorkshire accent coming in there. Blatty. I don't know. Like, I liked it, it just wasn't particularly what I expected, and I found myself like skipping through a lot because I wanted to get it over and done with. So yeah, I wasn't a major fan of it. It was good, but wasn't my favourite. Number 6, biggest surprise of 2017. Okay, without a doubt, it was The Last Boy and Girl in the World by Siobhan Vivian. Without a doubt, like, this book ruined me emotionally, physically, mentally. I didn't know what to expect, as you can tell in my last video for underrated series / books. I didn't know what to expect, but it was everything that I didn't expect and everything I wanted but I didn't know I wanted. It was so good, and I was a wreck, and it was amazing. It was so worth it. Number 7, favourite new author. Okay, so for this I'm going to have to say V.E. Schwab because I've never read any of her books before in my life, but I read the Darker Shade of Magic series this year, and I love her writing style, I love her characters, I love the world that she creates, I love how she can create different worlds within one world, and each of them are separate but the same, and her writing style literally gives me life. Like, I was just completely immersed in that. Yes, I still need to read A Conjuring of Light, and where. I have an issue. I still need to read A Conjuring of Light, but I know full well it's going to be just as amazing, and I love her style, and now I want to buy every single book that she has ever written because I love her writing that much. Thank you, V.E. Schwab, for funding my book addiction. Number 8, newest fictional crush. So this is very hard because I will always love James Carstairs for the rest of my life until I die. So he's always like up here, like he was always my number one fictional crush because I love Jem so much. However, I really love Kel. He is from the Darker Shades of Magic series, in case you don't know, and I love him. I love how funny he is, I love how mysterious he is, I love his magic, and how much he cares for Lila, and he just hits my heart in the best way. I was going to answer Ganze, but then I realised that I answered Ganze last year, so I don't want to answer him 2 years in a row, but I still love Ganze. Number 9, newest favourite character, Star Bishop from the Starfall series by Kim Briggs. She is just such a badass woman, and especially in Stargone, which is the book that was out this year, like she becomes so much stronger and she just is everything that I admire in a person. So she had to be one of the best characters that I've read about. So I just love everything about her. So she deserves to be on this list. Number 10, a book that made you cry. I've actually been quite good this half a year with crying at books. However, a book that made me cry was Letters to Eloise by Emily Williams. I was doing quite good at not crying at books until I read Letters to Eloise, and then I was literally in floods of tears. Yeah, I was on a train when I was reading it as well, so like I was being looked at quite weirdly because I was just sobbing on a train. But it was such a beautiful story, and it was written so beautifully, and it was such a unique story that I've never read before, and I think that's why it hit me so hard, because it's not like I had anything to compare it to. It just completely took me by storm, and yeah, I was a wreck. I'm going to stop doing the numbers now because I don't have enough fingers, so there you go. 11, a book that made you happy. Pretty much all of the books that I've read this year made me happy in some way or another, even if I didn't particularly enjoy them, but they always make me happy. However, the main book that made me happy this year was Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. This book was amazing. I've never read such a book that took the Armageddon so silly. Like it was such a in-depth story, and it was written so in-depth, but it had such an air about it. Like it was so light and funny, and the characters made you laugh, and it kind of lessened the impending doom of the apocalypse, and I loved that. It was just so good. As soon as I finished it, I wanted to just reread it straight away because it just gave me such joy about it, and even thinking about it now, it just makes me so happy. Number 12, favourite book to movie adaptation you've seen this year. Okay, so again, this is going to be a very controversial answer, but 50 Shades Darker. 50 Shades Darker, I've read the 50 Shades trilogy, and I have seen the first and second film, and I went to see the second film basically like the week after it came out because I was so excited. I went to see it with my friend Lauren, and we both love the books so much, and we definitely love the films, and the film was done brilliantly in comparison to the book. Number 13, favourite review you've written this year. So my favourite review I think is The Forgotten Federation by James Greer. I will link it below if you want to have a read, but I really enjoyed writing it because it's a book about superheroes, and I've loved superheroes ever since I was little, so writing a review it felt like I'd come full circle. Like I'd started off in my childhood liking superheroes and, you know, admiring superhero films and stuff, and now to write a book review about a superhero book, it just kind of, I felt like I just made it. This is my future. Number 14, the most beautiful book you've received or bought this year. So again, I have 2 answers because, I mean, let's just accept it. It's a 2 answer kind of tag, so yeah, I have 2 answers. The first answer is the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone 20th Anniversary Edition. I got the Hufflepuff version because I am a Hufflepuff, and it was beautiful. The edges are just so stripy, and the cover's gorgeous, and then there's all the extra content that has pictures in, and it's absolutely stunning. Like I'm so happy I own that edition because it's beautiful, and Hufflepuff Pride is finally there because we're so underrated. Hufflepuffs are not loved as much as they should be. The second beautiful book that I've got this year is definitely the Infernal Devices manga versions that I received. I say received, I bought them. Look at me trying to make out like I don't buy books all the time. Yeah, they're the ones that I bought, and yes, I know that I can't really get through a tag or a video without mentioning the Infernal Devices, but they are beautiful. They're the manga versions of the original stories and they are beautiful inside and out, and I get to see gems, so what's not to love? But they are actually beautiful. Number 15, books that you need to read by the end of this year. This could literally go on forever because I have over 100 books on my TBR currently. So technically the books I need to read by the end of the year is that 100 books of TBR. But to cut this a little bit short, I'm just going to mention 3 of the ones that I really want to get to this year. I really want to get to The Valiant by Leslie Livingston. I won this in a giveaway, but I've yet to read it, and I'm really excited to get to it because apparently it's amazing, and again we get a strong, powerful female character, and it just sounds really good and really up my alley, so I just want to get to it and read it and love it like everybody else did. Then there is Tower of Dawn by Sarah J Maas. Again, I'm not going to explain why I want to get to this book. It's kind of obvious. I love her, so yeah, I need to get to it. And then finally, the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy by Laini Taylor. I've had this on my shelf since Christmas and I've been wanting them for even longer, so I really want to get them because I know that Cattastic, she really loves Laini Taylor's writing and they're her favourite series. So I trust her opinion, so I really want to embrace what she has read and see just how much I like them. And also they're gorgeous, so I'll feel very nice walking around with pretty gorgeous books in my hand. So yeah, that is it. That is my mid-year book freakout tag. I really hope you enjoyed this tag. I really enjoyed doing it, and I tag anybody who wants to do it, whether blogging or booktube, whichever method you want to do, I highly recommend doing it. So yeah, if you want to see more, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment with what you thought of my answers, what your answers would be, and if you've read any of the books that I mentioned. I'd love to have a chat. Alright guys, until next time, bye!